This entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gabfest show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Let's face it, life after service ain't always easy. Far too many veterans continue to struggle in silence. But you don't have to fight this battle alone, because we are here to help. This ain't no group therapy. It's the after party to the battle. Full speed ahead, after battle. Real talk, real stories, no BS.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another week's episode of Full Speed Ahead After Battle here on MB Radio Talk. Again, like, subscribe, share, do all those things to get this message out there. You can do that via the Facebook page, on my page, on MB Radio Talk. You can do that on LinkedIn, YouTube under Full Speed Ahead After Battle, or you can find me on Instagram on my personal page at Josh McCabe817. But again, like, share, subscribe, not, to make me big and famous. That'd be nice. But just to get this message out there, this may be the one show that somebody sees that will keep them going. As we are here every week, we are going to be discussing veteran suicide, mental health, and we're going to talk a little bit about transition from the from the military to the civilian world today. As we always talk, and we put those statistics out every week because they're not changing, it's 22 veterans commit suicide every day. But when you start factoring in civilians, first responders, you're looking at closer to 30 people a day. That means within the hour of the show that we're on tonight, more than likely one veteran will more than likely commit suicide. So this is why we're out here talking about all this. This is why we're doing the show, and why there's so many other groups out there to get this message out, to show them it's okay, you can keep going, and we're going to talk about that tonight. So what's been going on this last week? A whole lot of nothing, getting ready for the holidays, doing the last minute shopping before Thanksgiving rolls around. Had District 21 VFW meeting this past yesterday. So we put out some suicide awareness information, put out some statistics. While this show is, while MBR radio is worldwide, I am located in North Texas, just outside of the Fort Worth area. So I'm in District 21, covers most of Tarrant County and a few other surrounding counties. Tarrant County, believe it or not, is the third largest area in the state of Texas for the veteran population. And that means that is the third highest populated area in the state of Texas for veteran suicide. And so that's why our district is putting out information. We're training people. We're training each members of our post, of our district, state level. We're getting that information out to help all the veterans, not only in just Tarrant County and the surrounding areas, but all over the state of Texas. At that district meeting yesterday, we had a special guest, Medal of Honor recipient, Doc Ballard was there. He is good friends with one of the members at our post, and he was able to bring him out, share his story. If you don't know who Doc Ballard is, he received his Medal of Honor from Nixon back in Vietnam. He served in both the Navy, the Army, and the Marines. When he received his Medal of Honor, he was a doc in the Navy. That's why he goes by Doc Ballard. He was out there, working with the Marines, saving the lives, doing everything they can. Grenade came in to the area where his guys were, and he threw himself on it, picked it up, threw it away, and lived to fight another day. And so that's why he received the Medal of Honor, not only doing that, but saving all the guys around him. He's got so much other stories to go along with that, but he does one of his specialties, or I call it a specialty, but his nonprofit, he raises money to pay for the funeral services for veterans. And as he shared with us yesterday in a lot of his nonprofit work, most people don't understand or don't know that even as a veteran with your SGLI and everything, your funeral services aren't covered. Even if you die in battle, your funeral services are not covered under your life insurance. And so that's an extra cost that most of the times is forwarded on to the families that they've got to then incur because the state or the government's not paying for it. And so he's out there raising awareness about that, trying to change the laws, trying to get that taken care of so that all of that is covered under all of our insurance. So it was great meeting him yesterday. He's got a lot of good stuff. I was able to get an actual Medal of Honor belt buckle from him. Only 100 made, because if you're not aware, when you make certain things that are Medal of Honor, they have to go through licensing. You got to get the proper approvals and things like that. So it was a real honor to be able to get that belt buckle from him and just hear his stories. I think the lesson I learned yesterday, the message I took away is, as he is a VFW member and speaking to the VFW, we all served, right? And we did our job, but we joined the VFW to give back a little more. And if you just want to be a regular member, that's perfectly fine. But if you're going to step up into an officer position at your post or in the district or state level, that means you're trying to give a little bit more back. You're not there to just fill a role, fill a seat, and take that title and make you look good. You're there because you're dedicating your time to be able to give back to those veterans in your community. And so that's what I took away, is that as we step up within an organization, we can always give a little bit more. We can do a little bit more to help our veterans, things like that. So today's November 17th. I guess that means, if you haven't seen on Facebook already, that today is my birthday. My wife reminded me this morning that I turned 42 today. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be able to tell you how old I was. I keep track after I turn 21. Because nothing good happens after that, right? So that's what I've been doing today. But what have I done for my birthday? I've been painting the outside of the house. It's a blast, I tell you. Home ownership is great sometimes, but sometimes the maintenance, the upkeep, not so much. So really, that's what's been going on the last week. Announced yesterday at our district meeting that we will have a District 21 sponsored Battle Buddy Throwdown, April 18th at VFW Post 8235 in Fort Worth. This is a fundraiser to raise awareness around veteran suicide, around veteran mental health. Most of the proceeds, or all the proceeds that we raise that day and for that event, are going to go to the Irreverent Warriors. If you don't know who the Irreverent Warriors are, they are a part of Grunt Style. Yes, the clothing line. But as a veteran organization, they do a lot of silky hikes around the nation, and their specific role is to raise more money and awareness around veteran suicide. So we'll be hosting that event. Will be more information coming over the next few months as we build that up. But stick around, stay tuned for that. That's going to be a great event sponsored by the district. So let's go ahead and move forward tonight, because my guest coming on is an Army veteran himself. He has his own podcast. He does a lot of good out there. He talks about his show is Civvies to Camo, and talks about kind of the same things that we talk about. And that's why I wanted him on the show. He focuses on that transition from service to the civilian world, because it's not always easy. as we talk about every week, that transition is one of the leading causes in veteran suicide, and it's because a lot of veterans fail to find that new mission, that new purpose in life, and they struggle with it. Getting out is not the same thing as being in. Obviously, you miss that camaraderie, you miss the brotherhood, you miss the detail, the organization, the structure, all of that. And once you get out, you don't have that anymore. It's all on you to make your own decisions all day, every day. And believe it or not, it's a real struggle. So, with that, we're going to bring him on. We're going to have our interview of the week, and we'll bring on Paul Salabarria.
The interview of the week is brought to you by Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Paul, welcome to the show, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, it's always good to have another veteran on talking about all the good stuff, right? So,
yeah, good stuff.
So you told me you're having a heck of a day. What's going on over in your world?
Just life, being a single dad, dealing with an 11-year-old that's going through her changes. And then, just life in general, sometimes your body doesn't want to work the way it works. And then, some days you're good, some days you're bad. And so it was one of those weekends for me where my body did not want to cooperate with my brain. And it was a rough weekend, but I'm still here. I still got breath in my lungs, so I can't be too upset.
That's right. Every day you're above ground's a good day, right?
Yes, sir.
So why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about who Paul is, what you do, veteran, all that good stuff, man.
Well, my name's Paul Salabarria, like you stated. I served 5 years in active duty Army, deployed once to Iraq, Q West to be exact. It was a 12 and got stop loss, so we technically did a whole 15-month deployment out there. I got out. I tried to re-enlist, but again, my body just didn't allow me to get past the PT test and everything that I needed to get checked off to get re-enlisted. So I ended up just completing my contract and getting out. That transition was rough, but I did it about 6 years ago. Came down with some stuff medical-wise. It forced me into early retirement. Was not the most gratifying thing because I didn't get to go out the way I wanted to go out of this workforce, and only being 32 at the time, that kind of hits your ego a little bit. But I have a show just like yourself. It's called Camo to Civvies. It's basically trying to put a spotlight on the interesting journey that we do coming from whether you did 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, 25, that transition is never easy for any soldier, military personnel going into the civilian world. Like you said, we're used to a structure for so long and a way of doing things. And when that's ripped, whether because you decided to get out or whatever the case may be, but that change can be life-changing, and for some it can overtake them and others are able to overcome, but there's still every now and then there's that little battle. It's like, okay, but what do I do? And some people aren't gifted the knowledge to have that transition or have leadership to help them, guide them out. And even after the fact, I think it's very beneficial that you have those NCOs or leaders that were in there with you to still have a contact with them even after you're out. Because like you said, it's one thing to have that brotherhood, and then once you're out, it's hard to find that same camaraderie with certain people that just don't understand what we've been through, what we've walked through. And it's hard to, after a while, you get tired of repeating yourself with certain people. You're just like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'm just going to go in my box.
Yeah. I completely understand that. So, you mentioned you got stop loss for the people out there that are watching that, might not know what it is. What is stop loss? What happened?
So stop loss. So we deployed, we got shipped out September 2006, and around, I want to say, because I took my leave from deployment around May. And by the time I got back, we got word from, at the time it was President Bush, the son, saying that we're going to get stop loss. And basically that means, hey, we're going to extend you for a certain amount of time. And at this point in time, we got extended an extra 3 months. So instead of coming back in September of 2007, we ended up coming back early December of 2007. So basically all of 2007 was overseas, just doing our daily job. And so it sucks because I was also 20 years, I was 19 when this all happened. And so it's just like my first 2 years in the military, I went from basic AIT. I got 2 months of duty station, and then off to Iraq I go. And then I come back. I miss Christmas, 2 Christmases, 2 birthdays, all kinds of stuff. And people don't look the same. Cities don't look the same. And it's like, it was crazy. But yeah, stop loss, it has its moments of greatness when you think about it, but at the same time, it sucks that that's 3 months that's getting snatched from you.
Right.
Can't do anything about it.
Yeah. They basically pull that old switcheroo on you and say, just kidding you.
No,
you ain't going nowhere.
Another 3 months.
Right. Yeah. So let's get into it. Let's talk about, like your transition. It sounded like you had a hard time because, like me in the Navy, ours is about time and rate, right? If you can't advance fast enough in your rate, you take the test every 6 months, you don't advance fast enough, they kick you out, right? And so as a sonar
that's
tech,
intense.
It's kind of a lockdown group, and it's like I passed the test for 2 years, but I didn't pass high enough to be able to beat everybody else out that also passed the test, right? And so at a certain point, they're like, I was at my 8.5 year, and they're like, all right, see you later. Have a good one. So I had no plan getting out, right? So like you had no plan getting out. You wanted to stay in.
Right. Initially, when I joined, the initial thought process was just do my first contract and get out, right? And then my first 2-3 years, I realized, wait a minute, let's not get carried away. Like, this isn't the worst job in the world. When you get paid, you have a place to stay. Like, the structure is I tell this to everybody. The military is probably the easiest job on the planet. You show up in your uniform at the right time. When you get paid, just stay out of trouble and just make sure that you're doing what you have to do each and every day, and you're going to advance. And it's like, it's not complicated. Right. And so I had right around my 3rd year mark, I had all the intentions to re-enlist, but I also tore my ACL twice. So huge setback.
Yeah.
And so that 4th year, last year and some change, I was like, okay, Paul, it's time to buckle down. If you're trying to re-enlist, you gotta get it together. I'm like, I can't focus on the promotion board because I have to get re-enlisted first. Once I get re-enlisted, then I can shift to trying to get promoted. But right now, I got to stay in because I had no intentions at this point of getting out. And I spent the better part of a year just trying to get in shape, everything. But it was always setback after setback medically. And the thing that I think gave me a sour taste was a lot of the individuals that were around me in my platoon that weren't as straight and narrow. Did I have my moments of like, hey, I would get in trouble. We're humans. What lower enlisted soldiers weren't getting in trouble in the first 3 to 4 years in the military, right?
Right.
But you got people that are popping hot on urinalysis tests, getting Article 15s left and right. They're getting re-enlistment packages to PCS, other places. I'm just struggling with weight and tape. You can't figure something out for me. Like, I don't got no bad counseling, never had an Article 15, nothing of that nature to the extent to not let me stay, and my knee is getting stronger. It's getting better. So it's like, I'm showing that I'm giving the fortitude to try to stay in. And so after a while, there's like, Paul, you've been here for like 8 months trying to get re-enlisted. It just doesn't look like it's going to work. And so it kind of just threw me off access. I don't know where you went.
No, I hit the wrong button. Keep going. You're good.
And so at that moment, my squad leader was like, listen, you might as well just start your ETS and just start clearing out of the military. You only got like 8 months left. You might as well just get out. If they're not giving you the opportunity to reenlist, just the energy's not worth giving for something that's not going to give back.
Right.
And so I started my ACAT process, but it just wasn't the easiest process to deal with. And getting out, I didn't know how to write a resume. I didn't know how to apply for like specific jobs based off of my skill set. Because I was a mechanic in the military, but I also have a shot knee, a messed up back. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to continue doing that. So I got to figure out other avenues. So my first year and a half out the military was house hopping from friend to friend. Couldn't get a job for almost 2 years. I didn't even know where the VA hospital was in my area. I didn't know how to file for claims. I didn't know how to do anything for almost 2 years. And then I finally just figured it out just by doing research. And it's just like, if I'm like this after 4.5 years, 5 years in, what is everybody else's story like? Because I'm like, is it similar? Is it worse? Like, and so it really just got me thinking over the last few years, I need to get people's information out here. And one of my things that I love to do now, ever since I've gotten out, is if a soldier comes up to me or if they get referred to me, I may not know it all. However, if I do know it, I'm going to give it to you. If I don't know it, I'm going to figure it out, find it, and give it to you. Because at the end of the day, regardless of what branch we are, Navy, Marines, Air Force, Army, we all serve one purpose, and that's to defend this country. And what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to allow my brothers and sisters in arms to fall by the wayside because the military decided, hey, we're done with you. Time for you to go. With nothing to show for it.
Yeah, because that TAP class, I know when I got out back in 2011, that TAP class was worthless, man. It was like 2 days.
It served no purpose.
It's like go to Home Depot, go to Lowe's, go to Walmart. They hire veterans, and like I tried all that, and they're like, nope, we don't want you. I'm like, okay, so I try over here. I tried it everywhere, and they're like, you're either overqualified, you're underqualified. It's not the right qualifications, and I'm like, okay,
what do you want from me?
Right. And I'm like, so my job was a sonar operator on the newest sonar equipment in the Navy had to offer, right? And so I knew all the math of tracking submarines and how to shoot sound in water. So I'm like, okay, I live in Texas, man. There's oil and gas everywhere. I'm going to go work for these companies doing sonar. Man, it's not the right kind of sonar. Not the right kind of sonar. You don't understand the equipment. You don't understand the math. I'm like, the math is the same. It's just in the ground, it travels a little bit differently than the water, but the math is the same. The equipment is kind of this. Man,
I'm going to assume the training would have been easy.
Right. I'm not right. Like, at least I have a foundation of what y'all are trying to do over here. And,
I can get the rest.
Right. I got a secret clearance, and like I can roll right in and help y'all out. No, man. So I'm with you. I struggled when I got out. It was
my very first job. I had to settle after 2 years because I'm like, hey, Paul, it's not working. You gotta start somewhere. And my very first job was a bilingual call center rep making $8.50.
Yeah.
I felt like I just failed. Like I did all of this. Not saying that I got a Medal of Honor, none of these things, right? However, there's a select few of people. We're not, as big of a population as the military and veterans are, compared to the rest of the country, we're not that big.
Right.
And to say that we are a select few that decided to sign this contract and serve this country and give up our body, and some gave up their life. And I got to resort to working at a call center for minimum pay.
Yeah.
It made me feel like I failed. This is what it comes down to now?
Absolutely. I worked at my first job. I got turned down the first time around. Then they were looking for help and called me back. I worked retail selling batteries at Batteries Plus, man. Getting 15, 20 hours a week, I couldn't pay the bills. And I'm like, I go walk into Walmart and I see the people that are working there. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. How can I not get a place like this, right? This is ridiculous. Like I can stand there and do nothing.
Listen, because I think the second job that I applied for was the Dollar General down the street from my house or my friend's house. And I just applied to be a cashier. I wasn't trying to be nothing crazy, just cashier. You're overqualified. It's a register. Like, what are you talking about? So I'm like, cool. Let me apply for the assistant manager. You're overqualified. Okay, let me apply for the manager position. You're just not the right fit that we're looking for. What? Just say you don't want me.
Right. Man, I just want a job. That's it.
Like,
I just want a job.
I was willing to be a register.
Right. Yeah. It's like if I didn't want to work here, I wouldn't have applied here. Right. Don't tell me that I'm overqualified. I know I'm overqualified. I'm still trying to apply to get the job. Work with me.
It's not rocket science. And I think the first few years of trying to just find myself was hard because I had nobody to lean on, nobody to relate to. So it's just transitioning from job to job to job until I finally found a place. I think because I got out, I was 23. My daughter, she was born in 2014. So around 2016, I finally found a job that I was happy at and that I felt like this is where, and it was at higher education. I was a financial aid rep for veterans, specifically helping them make sure that, they turned in their hours and I got them paid when they went to school. And so that was a level of gratification because I was going to school at the time as well myself. So I knew the struggles of that process of paperwork and getting everything up done. So I took it as a badge of like, hey, I know how frustrated it is. So I got to make sure that my guys and my girls are not getting dropped by the wayside. Listen, y'all can do whatever y'all want over there on the civilian side, but me over here, I'm going to make sure that my people are getting paid on time and bills are getting to get paid on time. And I found that to be like, okay, you know what? I'm here. Was the pay great? No. However, going to school, that kind of leveled that playing field out, but like the gratification of helping a fellow veteran and watching them graduate to do something good with their life, you couldn't take my joy away.
Absolutely. And I think that's why a lot of us do things like podcasting or whatever it is that we end up doing is so we can help those other veterans out there because they don't need to struggle like we did, right? It should be that bad. So look, let's take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll start jumping into how are we helping these guys and girls into, getting into that kind of stuff. So we'll be right back.
muerto.
Dead man. 10 years hard time for something I didn't do. You've been living on easy street. Now justice coming to you. You're a dead man. You're a dead man walking. 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 Justice coming. Justice coming to you. You can try to hide from your fate. Run as fast as you can. Don't wait, don't hesitate. You see, you're just a dead man. No, dead man walking. You cannot run. You know you just can't hide. Run out for help, I'll hunt you down. Nowhere for you to reside. No, you're a dead man. You're just a dead man walking. Oh, hey. Dead man walking. 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 Death is coming. Death is coming to you. Hey. You're a dead man. Dead man walking. Dead man walking. Dead man walking. Dead man walking.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to Full Speed Ahead here on MB Radio. Tonight with me is my guest, Paul Salabarria, Army veteran, Camo to Civvies. Or I'm sorry. Yeah, Camo to Civvies. I got it right. Like you said, it's been a long day, man. I'm worn out. So, I kind of played that song, Dead Man Walking, because like we were just talking about getting out, it's like a struggle, right? I ended up going to school to community college, and man, that was my worst experience ever, right? I did 8 years in the Navy, and then getting out, going to college with all these kids that just got out of high school and trying to debate kids in class of my mommy and daddy and my teacher last year told me this, like, look, I've done this for a long time. That's not how this real world works. This is not how this, what do you know? I'm like, I know.
Let me tell you.
So, I was in one class and we were talking about, our professor was talking about communication and stuff, right? And saying the wrong things at the wrong time. And this is when our president at the time, Obama, said, if you own a business, you did not build that business, that the government built it for you. And I used as an explanation of, what I thought was somebody saying the wrong thing. And one of the kids asked, well, who said that? And the professor was like, that would be Obama or President Barack. Well, who's that? Obama? Like, you do know he's got a first name, right? Like, you're in college and you don't even know the first and last name of your president. And this is why I could not go back to class after that. I quit going to that class. It's like,
Wow.
man, it's a struggle for veterans, right? Because we've been through all this other stuff and, trying to find those jobs, trying to go back to school. It's a struggle. Yeah, it is. So
it is. Yeah. I went back to school when I got out. Not initially, but it took me about 6 years to finish because some of those teachers, some of those students. Now, granted, where I was at, I was in Fort Hood, so we had prior service or current, but you still had a mixture of those spoon-fed kids with helicopter parents that tend to want to be just overwhelmingly ignorant. And it's just like, you know what? I need a break from you guys because I'm about to snap because you guys are too much. And I took like a 2-year break from school and honestly, I didn't think that I was going to go back because we've been through so much, regardless of how long you serve. And when you go somewhere to try to get better and try to better yourself in this new world that you're trying to embrace, and you have individuals that are just, this is what the future's looking like. Okay.
Yeah.
I want no parts.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So with Camo to Civvies, you're out there helping out. So, how are you helping out the service members? Do you got a specific regime, or you just giving them information, or how do you go about it? I know everybody.
So usually my go-to before I started the podcast, I used to just, my friends, that I've helped, they would refer other military personnel that are struggling. They would refer them to me, and I would see basically my biggest thing was, what is it that you're trying to achieve? What is it that you're trying to get to? Whether it's with your claims, school, getting a job, like where are you trying to navigate? So that way we know which steps. So most of the people that I helped was mostly with claims or trying to go to school to find a different career path, because whatever they did in the military is just not suitable in the civilian life. Most cases, because some of the jobs that we have in the military are some odd jobs, and it's not something that you can just translate over. No matter how many wizards of words that you put on your resume, it just doesn't make sense. And so majority of the people that I helped is with claims. I would help them, hey, this is how you have to do it. This is the process. Don't try to overdo it, work your way up there, because some, they want to get to 100% right off the gate. And it's like, hey, not everybody's able to do that. You have to manage this and don't get overwhelmed, because it's a process. You have to understand that you're not the only person that's putting in for a claim, whether it's a new claim or appealing a claim. Like you got to understand that there's a process. For the ones that are going to school, it's okay, do you want to go to a 4-year college, or do you want to go to a trade school? Like, what is it that you want to do? Because it's a different avenue. And I'm just trying to reassure them in the process, hey, this is what you need. This is what you need to write down. This is how you apply for this. And this is how you go about this. Once this process is done and you get that letter back from the VA when it comes to your claims, we'll sit down again, go over what they declined, what they approved, and we'll go with the next step. And so I try to get the unamount, that big old monkey off their back, thinking that you're fighting for something that you're not supposed to get. No. These benefits, yours. You earn these. You deserve these. If anybody tells you just because you only did 10 years, you don't deserve this, they're lying to you. You earned it. You signed that contract. You fulfilled your contract, however long it is. You served your time. And some of them feel like, it's a struggle. Especially to the point where they get to me, they've tried. Some of them have tried for years and gotten nowhere. So they feel like it's just an unattainable thing. And it's like, I don't know who told you that, but that's false.
Yeah.
And so I reassure them that, hey, these are your benefits that you've earned. Let's go get them. At a minimum, let's get benefits. Let's get you some type of money flowing into your account. Because again, I also thought I was going to be homeless when I get out. So when they say, hey, man, I think I'm about to lose my house or whatever because I don't have my VA is not working. It's not, the claims aren't going through. I keep appealing, and nothing is sticking. It's like, okay, but what words are you using? How are you describing such pain? Do you have paperwork to catch evidence with what you're claiming? You need all these things so that way when you do get your evaluation, you're able to present all this evidence like, hey, this is what I have. This is why this is happening. This is what I've been tracking. All this. They can't fight black and white.
Right. Yeah, it's, that's one thing that I think a lot of people don't understand is sometimes, I was a lucky one when I filed. Like the day after I got out, I ended up getting my disability and back pay in like 9 months, and it was straight to 90%. And I'm working now to get to the 100%. Some people need to realize that there's people out there that have been battling this for 10, 15 years, trying to get 100%. And it's like you can look at them and see that they should be at 100%, but the VA
Without
makes
a shadow.
it so hard. The VA makes it so hard. The military makes it hard because, they won't. They try to dissuade you from going to doc, and you hurt your ankle, tough it out. Don't go see doc. Right? You got to pull duty, and it's it's those people that aren't getting that listed and put in their medical records that are having a hard time of claiming that when they get out because there's no track back to it's not combat related. Okay. And I've seen people that, they broke their back in the military. It's in their records. But then when they go to the VA say it's not service related. How is it not service related? How? And so this is why some people get discouraged from going to the VA for those claims. And I understand it, but you got to keep going. You got to keep working at it. One thing, though, that I think people need to be careful of are those groups out there that'll say, if you give me 10% of whatever your disability back pay is, we'll go to court and we'll fight that for you. That's illegal, people. That is illegal, and they cannot do it. Right. It's unnecessary. There are VSOs out there in your counties that will do it for free. There's VFW service officers that will do it for free.
If anybody is out here charging them to do their claims, you need to report them immediately.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's no need for you to give up anything that you've earned.
Right. And not only that, but there was a VFW legislative person that just went and testified in front of Congress because Congress is coming out saying veterans are lying on these VA claims so that they can get that higher percentage. And that's why the VA is taking so long. I'm sorry. I'm not lying about anything. Our veterans, it shows in your records that you, went to Iraq and you served 6 months over there. And you know how it is. If you did 7 tours through Fallujah or something in a Humvee on a machine gun, you're going to get hurt at some point, right? Why is Congress trying to tell them that they're lying about how bad their claims should be?
That's diabolical.
It's ridiculous that what the government is trying to do to not pay these claims out. But the message to the people that I want to put out there, and I know you're putting the same thing out there, is keep going, keep working on it. It could take you 10 or 15 years.
Yeah.
But when you see it go from 50% at whatever it is, $1,200 or something, and you get that 100% and you're up to $4,600 a month, that's a big deal, right? That's
very
almost
much
retiring on for some people. So you got to keep going for it.
When I started my claims so I got out in 2010, I was advised by one of my, and I love this man to this day, one of my NCOs. He said, hey, make sure you file your VA claim before you completely get out. So that way it could start immediately. Yes. So I had followed his guidance with that. And my terminal leave ended at the end of July, and August 1st, I got my first VA disability check. I was like, whoa, that was fast. I wasn't expecting it
Mm-hmm.
to be that, because I've heard all the horror stories. It's going to take months before
Right.
you get your check. And I was like, okay. But doing the claims, when I finally figured out the claims about a year and a half later, it took me, I came out at 60%. That was my initial rating from the VA. I didn't get to 100% till, so this was 2010. My daughter was born in 2014. So I got up to 90% in April of 2014. And then I didn't get the last 10% for another 2 years. So all in all, it took me 6 years just to get from 60 to 90 to 100. And I tell people, listen, it's a battle. They're not just gonna give it to you. However, you got to prove to them by every way means, make sure you have, if you're getting out, make sure you get a copy of your medical records before you exit out of the military. Because trying to get it after you get out is like pulling teeth and nails.
It is. It absolutely is. And I think another thing that people need to realize is when you're filing for those claims, don't forget to add your spouse on there or your children, because that's it. That's extra money on top of that.
Yes.
Right. And I think the children are, as long as they're in school up to 24, 25, something like that.
I think it's 18, automatically up to 18. And if they continue on with the university, going to college, I think it's up to 24 or 23, 24 years old.
Yeah.
And again, most of that, if my child decides to go to college, any money that I get after she turns 18, I'm giving it to her, because at this point, this is your money.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm fortunate that I enlisted in Texas, because then at the same time, I tell this to all my Texas veterans that enlisted, hey, if you don't have your GI Bill, you have your Hazelwood Act. So your kids can at least get some assistance while they're going to school. So don't put this big old burden on yourself or your kids and trying to figure out how you're going to pay for college. There's options out there. You just got to ask the right questions and look.
And that's the other thing with getting up to 100% is that if you get to that 100%, then you can then take your post 9/11 benefits and apply those to your children as well. They can use those benefits,
correct,
along with Hazelwood and everything. So there are multiple reasons for working towards that 100%, because in the end, it's going to benefit you. It's going to benefit your spouse, your kids, everybody else, and especially right now. I mean, a couple $100 is a couple $100. There's people out there.
It's more than what you had yesterday.
Right. That's gas money. That's a little bit of food. I mean, you got to get it. I know some people take 10, 15 years to get this, but you got to keep working at it. It's a process.
I had a friend. He was out for almost, when I met him, he was out maybe 6-7 years, and he was unaware of that he could add his kids and his wife. So I was like, bro, it's just as when you were they not your dependents when you were in the military? It's like, yeah. So what's the difference now? They're still your dependents. The pay might be a little different, but it's still, he had 6 kids and a wife.
That's some money right there. That money adds up.
And he was still at 90%, but I'm like, sorry, okay, so even if it's at 90% now, and you get them now, imagine what happens when you get to 100% disability, which is what he was working towards, and you have these dependents on. Do you realize how much you could free up some of that stress financially on your family?
Absolutely. Yep. So keep working it towards the people. We're going to take one more quick break, and then we're going to come back and wrap up the show for the night. Be right back.
We can fly across the ocean with our arms spread open wide. Follow me as far as you can, baby. You and me got nothing left to hide. And all our friends will be there with us. We've got nothing left to fear. Running free as far as we can until laughter is the only thing we hear. That's all we hear. Far
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.net.
All right, welcome back to Full Speed Ahead After Battle. If you're just now tuning in, my guest tonight, Paul Salabarria from Camo to Civvies, here talking. We talked about, getting out, trying to find a job, trying to go to school, VA claims, all that good stuff. So I'm going to ask you one last question before we wrap up tonight. Aside from applying for your VA claims, what is the other thing that our veterans need to be doing either before or right as soon as they get out?
You definitely need to have a plan on what it is that you're trying to achieve when you get out. Make sure that you have all the resources that you need, all the documents that you need before you get out. I want y'all to understand, and it's not doing it 2 months out. I suggest doing this 8 to 10 months out minimum. Sooner, if you know that you're on your way out, start gathering everything that you need to have, medical records, every type of award, documentation that's going to help you with whatever that transition that you're trying to do. If you're trying to go to school, look at schools in the area that you're trying to move to. If you're getting out, if you're going back home, look at the areas. Find your VA hospital that's closest to where your address of staying. If there's any VFWs, any military personnel, veteran personnel offices out there in your area. So if you do have questions that you didn't get answered on your way out, you have a source to go to. Just don't just get out without having a plan. Have a plan, because no plan is never going to end well.
Yeah, I think you nailed it right on the head. You got to make that plan if you can. I know some people aren't expecting to get out in this last minute, but make that plan. Work on that resume. Reach out to those VSOs and whoever else. Work on those resumes. Get those interview skills ready. And, here in the state of Texas, I'm not sure about every other state, but, we got the Texas Veterans Commission that helps people, veterans, find those jobs.
Absolutely.
So, like you said, reach out to those people, those groups, and start making those plans. They will help you before you get out. You don't have to wait to get, EAS before you get out to start working with those people. They'll do that. So, Paul, I appreciate you coming on the show tonight. Great discussion. I'm going to give you just a couple of minutes to wrap up whatever's on your mind, whatever you want to put out to the world, to our veterans, to the people, whatever you want to say. The floor is yours, sir.
I just want to say, hey, for any man or woman that's out, on their way out, I know this transition is going to be very difficult for some, and harder than some for most people. What I want y'all to understand is there's people out here, whether it's to help you with your VA claims, help you with school, or just needing to talk to somebody. There's always somebody readily available, whether it's a fellow veteran or just some type of office. You're not in this fight alone. We are here. We are brothers and sisters, whether we've met or not. When we run into each other and we know that we've served this country, automatically there's a bond that's unbreakable. I learned that the hard way when I got out, and I easily snapped back into shape because I had the right people around me to put me back on track and get me squared away. So again, you're not alone. I know it may feel like you are because you're going back home or whatever that feels like, but you're not. There's always somebody you can talk to at the VA, VSO, somebody. There's somebody in your area that can help you get through this, so where you don't have to talk. Always reach out to somebody. That's my biggest takeaway. Just talk to somebody. That's it. You just got to reach out. It's okay. It's all right, guys. So, all right, Paul, again, thank you so much for coming on Full Speed Ahead. I look forward to chatting with you some more. Good luck on your show and helping those guys out there and those claims and everything, man. Keep at it, but they need you. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is, we're wrapping up here. We got a couple minutes left on the 8 o'clock hour for Full Speed Ahead After Battle. As we learned tonight, talking with Paul, VA claims, they're not the easiest thing to get through, but there are groups out there. There's organizations that will help you that have been through this many, many, many times and in all branches, and they can help you
do the paperwork. They can help you prepare for the interviews. They can help you prepare the documents and know what to talk about when you get in there. And I know that it sometimes it can take years, but don't stop, don't quit. Just keep moving forward with it, because in the end, it's going to help you out, right? As we talked about tonight, it's more than just about getting it for yourself. If you're married, it's for that spouse. If you got kids, it's for the kids. It's the same thing as being in while you're serving. You got your BAH, you got your paycheck, you got paid for the spouse, for the kids. Same thing as the claims, man. It's out there for us. So take advantage of it. And it's not really taking advantage of it. It's going out there and claiming, what is ours. That's what we did when we served, right? We went out there, and if we needed something, we tactically acquired it. And that's what we're doing now with the VA claim. So keep working at it, no matter how long it takes you. As he also said, man, you reach out, try to make that plan, reach out to the organizations, but it's also okay to ask for help. You're not in this alone. Just like when you served, you had your battle buddies. You served right alongside those men and women that watch your six and watch your side. It's the same thing when you get out. It looks a little bit different because we're all wearing civilian clothes now. But, it's really the same thing. So it's okay to reach out and ask for help. You're not in this alone. And that's what this whole show is about. This is what a lot of these groups are about. The VFW, we're here to help those veterans so that they don't struggle with those transitions, so that those thoughts don't creep into their head like, this is the last, I can't do this anymore. You can. It's going to take a lot of work, but you can do this. What was in you when you joined up to serve is still inside of you. It may have changed over the years, but it's still inside of you, and that you can still use that to keep moving on, right? So I'm going to leave you with that. We're getting into the holidays. We're not going to have a show next week because it's Thanksgiving week. I'm spending time with the family. We're going to be doing, the dinner, the football, all the good stuff that comes on Thanksgiving. I got to finish painting up the house. I'm trying to get that knocked out real quick. So no show next week, but when we come back the following week, we got another great guest. So we'll have that show. So like I always tell you, you're not in this alone. It's okay to ask for help. Keep going strong. You're going to make it. I'm counting on you. I'll see you in a couple of weeks, y'all. Have a great night.
Justice Jackson, they captured Herman Goring alive.
Tell me about him.
He's the face of the Nazis. I'm going to put Goring on trial.
Never escapes the hangman's noose. Very sure of yourself.
No man has ever beaten me.
Goring has to fall.
You don't just have to win, you have to be flawless.
You're walking into a trap.
Knowing what we know now, would you still follow Adolf Hitler?
Nuremberg, rated PG-13, now playing only in theaters.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.